Good evening, everyone. Going to call our meeting to order here at 6 p.m. in council chambers. If those outside could maybe shut one door or move it to the cow meeting room.
It's not.
Thank you. We have roll call, please.
Alderperson Murphy.
Present.
Macias.
Present.
Razak.
Present.
Timian.
Present.
Finch.
Present.
McNeil.
Present.
Castro.
Present.
Schmidt.
Okay. All right, thank you. I don't believe we have any remote electronic attendance. So we'll move to our oaths of office. Chief Reagan Weather, can you come and speak on your two oaths? We'll do them in a row and then I'll do oaths separately.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. I'm happy to introduce tonight Nolan Rademacher, who has recently completed his probationary period as a firefighter. Nolan, you want to join me? Nolan grew up in Mapleton, Illinois, in a close-knit family of 6 alongside 2 brothers and a sister. He graduated from Moline Bluffs High School in 2019, where he was part of a small class of 53 students. Initially drawn to a career in aviation, Nolan earned his private pilot and commercial drone licenses. However, inspired by a strong family legacy in firefighting, including his grandfather, father, brother, and 2 uncles, he found himself called to the fire service. After returning to school to earn his EMT license, Nolan was hired by the Moline Fire Department in August of 2023, where he's quickly become a valued member. He's earned his paramedic license this past July and recently completed his 12-week fire academy assignment in Peoria. Nolan is joined here tonight by his parents, Matt and Kathy, and his girlfriend, Christina.
Great, thank you.
So we're going to do a little bit different tonight. She'll swear everything after I introduce. Okay. Thank you. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Captain Becker. Tonight we also have the honor of celebrating Eric Becker's well-deserved promotion to the rank of captain. Eric's journey of service began when he graduated from Bettendorf High School in 1999 and joined the Marine Corps in 2000. He served with distinction, deploying to Guantanamo Bay as part of a joint task force and later to Kuwait and Iraq during Operation Iraqi Freedom. He was honorably discharged in 2004 as a sergeant. Following his military service, Eric enrolled in EMT basic training, rekindling his dedication to service. After becoming a paramedic, Eric joined Clinton Fire Department in 2007, and in January of 2008 was hired by the Moline Fire Department. Eric's dedication to professional growth is evident in his extensive list of academic achievements, including his Fire Service Associate's degree and multiple fire service certificates. Notably, and I think this is really important in a system that is extremely heavy in the use of seniority, Eric has earned the top score in promotional exams for both his lieutenant and captain positions while not being the most senior person testing. It's a true testament to his commitment and expertise. Beyond his career, Eric is a proud husband to his wife Charity and father to their 6 children. He finds his greatest pride in his faith and in serving his community. Please join me in congratulating Captain Eric Becker on his promotion, and we're honored to have his family Charity, Esme, Hope Lynn, Kobe, Drake, and Morgan present, along with his parents, Ralph and Laura Becker.
Congratulations, thank you so much. We will certainly take the appropriate time to have pictures with family and everything, but why don't you both come up, if that's okay? Nolan's first, but it's nice to have a colleague by your side, right? So this one's for you, Nolan. If you want to raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Nolan Rademacher,
I, Nolan Rademacher,
having been duly appointed to the rank of firefighter paramedic
having been duly appointed to the rank of firefighter paramedic
of the fire department for the city of Moline, Illinois,
of the fire department for the city of Moline, Illinois,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and will strictly adhere to the laws of the state of Illinois
and will strictly adhere to the laws of the state of Illinois
and the city of Moline,
and the city of Moline,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of firefighter paramedic for the city of Moline, Illinois,
of firefighter paramedic for the city of Moline, Illinois,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations and welcome. Great, you get to keep that. And then if you'll stand by as your senior colleague is sworn into that role. Please repeat after me. I, Eric Becker,
I, Eric Becker,
having been duly promoted to the rank of captain
having been duly promoted to the rank of captain
of the fire department for the city of Moline, Illinois,
of the fire department for the city of Moline, Illinois,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and will strictly adhere to the laws of the state of Illinois
and will strictly adhere to the laws of the state of Illinois
and the city of Moline,
and the city of Moline,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of captain of the fire department for the city of Moline, Illinois,
of captain of the fire department for the city of Moline, Illinois,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations.
Thank you,
Thanks
Mayor.
so much for your- Keep that. Great. Now, Chief, do you want to do pictures with family here, or are you going over there?
Real quick, if I could call Nolan's girlfriend Christina up to put his badge on him.
Okay, great.
You could have gave him a hug. And then if I could call Eric's wife Charity, and Eric up front. The rank of captain is recognized by 2 crossed bugles on the collar. So we're gonna go ahead and give Eric his bugles. Congratulations.
So Chief, you're managing pictures
We're
over
good.
there? Gotcha. Thank you so much. Chief Galt, your turn.
Well, not to be outdone, you only brought 2 people, but I brought 3.
No competition, right, Chief?
Well, thank you for the opportunity, Your Honor. I have in front of you 3 officers today who have completed their probation. So we'll start with Justin Greiser. Justin is a graduate of United Township High School and attended St. Ambrose University, where he graduated with a bachelor's in criminal justice. He was hired in May of 2023, attended the Police Academy of the University of Illinois Police Training Institute in Champaign. Justin has been assigned, I think, to all 3 shifts and has done a fantastic job for us, and we're excited to have him on board. Dalton Martin graduated from United Township High School as well, attended Wartburg College in Waverly, Iowa, graduated with a Bachelor in Physical Education. He also attended Police Training Institute in Champaign, Illinois, and also done a great job. And Corbin Tim, the 3rd of our fantastic new officers, graduated from Moline High School. After high school, enlisted in the United States Marine Corps, where he served honorably for 4 years as an aviation supply specialist. Returned to the Quad City area and worked for several different private corporations. He reported to Southwestern Illinois College in Belleville back in May. So, Your Honor, if you would, administer the oath of office to the new officers.
My pleasure. We have solidarity as a group, yeah? Come on up together, and I realize there are details of pinning and all of that, but we'll do it this way this time. All right, Justin. I'll start with you. And you know the drill now if you're watching the firefighters, right? So, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Justin Greiser,
I, Justin Greiser,
having been duly appointed as a police officer for the city of Moline, Illinois,
having been duly appointed as a police officer for the city of Moline,
Illinois, do solemnly swear
Illinois, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois.
will strictly adhere to the compiled statutes of the State of Illinois,
Will strictly adhere to the compiled statutes of the State of Illinois,
the Moline Code of Ordinances,
the Moline Code of Ordinances,
and any Illinois rules of professional conduct
and any Illinois rules of professional conduct
applicable to police administration,
applicable to police administration.
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the position of police officer for the City of Moline, Illinois,
of the position of police officer for the City of Moline, Illinois,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, thank you so much for joining. This is for you. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Dalton Martin,
I, Dalton Martin,
having been duly appointed as a police officer
have been being duly appointed as a police officer
for the City of Moline, Illinois,
for the City of Moline, Illinois,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
will strictly adhere to the compiled statutes of the State of Illinois,
will strictly adhere to the compiled statutes of the State of Illinois,
the Moline Code of Ordinances,
the Moline Code of Ordinances,
and any Illinois rules of professional conduct
and any Illinois rules of professional conduct
applicable to police administration,
applicable to police administration,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the position of police officer for the City of Moline, Illinois,
of the position of police officer for the City of Moline, Illinois,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. It's your turn. All right, you keep one, I'll keep the other. And Mr. Tim. Your turn. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Corbin Tim,
I, Corbin Tim,
having been duly appointed as a police officer
having been duly appointed as a police officer
for the City of Moline, Illinois,
for the City of Moline, Illinois,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
will strictly adhere to the compiled statutes of the State of Illinois,
will strictly adhere to the compiled statutes of the State of Illinois,
the Moline Code of Ordinances,
the Moline Code of Ordinances,
and any Illinois rules of professional conduct applicable to police administration,
and any Illinois rules of professional conduct applicable to police administration,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the position of police officer for the City of Moline, Illinois,
of the position of police officer for the City of Moline, Illinois,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. Keep that. And Chief will manage the
Yeah.
hitting.
All right, you guys just step right over there, Justin, you can stay up here, and I'd invite Justin's wife Lauren, if she could come forward. And on his badge. And you guys can stand right in the middle there, take a photo, and then you can. We got a photographer right here. Shake everybody's hand down.
Welcome on board. Good luck to you.
And then Dalton, you can come forward. And I'd like to invite Dalton's fiance Madison up. on his badge. She'll take a picture of you guys. Dalton, you can shake everybody's hand.
Congratulations.
Double the congratulations.
Congratulations.
And then Corbin, you can come forward, and I'd like to invite his mother, Robin, here forward. Oh, sorry, you're in your way there. Robin, I'll let you get on his badge.
It's the final
You can leave it there. It's fine. Yeah, it's not gonna go here. There you go. And you can take a picture there. All right, congratulations, everybody.
in case the kids. You got firefighter and police officer badges.
Well, Chief, if you'd like to stay up here, you're the next person up.
All right, again, not to be outdone, right? I got
Right. 5.1, we move to, that is Moline Police Department Tier 2 level accreditation.
I'd like to invite some of my team members, Lieutenant Derek Colson, Deputy Chief Andrew Rea, and Police Business Analyst Summer O'Leary to join me up here as well. So I'm here on, obviously, behalf of the Moline Police Department as the police chief, but as you also know, I'm the Illinois Association of Chiefs of Police Vice President for Region 2, so I'm also responsible for administering the accreditation in my region. So I'm here on behalf of both the Police Department and the Illinois Association of Chiefs of Police. But in the early 2000s, the Illinois Chiefs sought a way to help departments demonstrate that they could achieve the highest standards in law enforcement. Since 2009, the Illinois Association of Chiefs of Police has provided an accreditation program to certify this benchmark of standards known as the Illinois Law Enforcement Accreditation Program, or ILEAP. ILEAP is overseen by the Illinois City County Management Association, the Illinois Criminal Justice Information Authority, Northwestern University for Public Safety, the Intergovernmental Risk Management Association, Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board, and others who make up the Illinois Police Accreditation Coalition. This is the Illinois Accreditation Authority for the state of Illinois. In 2023, I stood before you when the Moline Police Department achieved Tier 1 accreditation, and today I'm here to announce that Moline Police Department has received accreditation at the highest level offered, Tier 2. It is important for the Illinois Chiefs to publicly recognize departments that are doing well and embrace best practices. ILEAP is a program designed to be an administrative bulletproof vest. This administrative armor was designed to reduce risk and liability, serving as a catalyst to professionalize the industry and soften the blow of a lawsuit should one be filed, despite current best practices being followed. The Illinois Law Enforcement Accreditation Program aims to make police organizations better by evaluating policy and procedures against established criteria, coupling the alignment of policy and written directives against best practices. It is a process of having those criteria certified by an independent, authoritative body, the ILEAP Accreditation Council. This accreditation is significant for our police department, our community, and all of us in Illinois who are pushing for higher standards of police professionalism. The Moline Police Department has achieved Tier 2, which means we meet or exceed 181 important standards. ILEAP has reviewed Moline policies and procedures in the context of these standards. Assessors looked at 4 areas of focus, including administration, training, operations, and personnel. ILEAP brought in professional assessors to look at critical policies such as the use of force, pursuits, record keeping, and community policing. These assessors reviewed policies, reports, manuals, and examples, and they required proof of compliance documents and conducted interviews of several staff members. To achieve accreditation, or in this case, reaccreditation plus Tier 2, is a rigorous process, taking many, many months for a department to demonstrate its compliance with the standards. In fact, we originally started on this accreditation process in 2019. Although paused for COVID, it's taken us about 5 years to achieve Tier 2. So congratulations to the Moline Police Department. 64 Illinois agencies have achieved ILEAP accreditation since the program was launched in 2009. Only 22 agencies statewide have achieved Tier 2. Only 6% of Illinois state and local law enforcement agencies are accredited by ILEAP, but only 2% are accredited at the Tier 2 level. So you can be sure that you have a professional department that is up to date with policies and procedures. And the Illinois chiefs, as well as myself as the police chief, is very proud of the Moline Police Department for this accomplishment. I don't want to take all the credit for this. We had an extremely dedicated staff that put a lot of hours and work into this. So first, Lieutenant Derek Colson, who at the time for that year that he worked on this, was in charge of the Accreditation and Standards Division as the lieutenant assigned there. Summer O'Leary, the police business analyst, and Steve Van Huysen and Andrew Rea, our deputy chiefs, oversee our two bureaus, played an important role in this process. And so I'd like to accept this accreditation on behalf of the police department, but I would certainly also like to tip my cap to the team that did an amazing amount of work, worked really, really hard to meet the deadlines. We wanted to get this done, and both Tier 1 and Tier 2 was extremely rigorous. We had a lot of work to do to update the police department, and certainly very proud to present this plaque from the ILEAP Accreditation Council to the Moline Police Department. The Illinois Accreditation Council verifies that the Moline Police Department has policies, procedures, and daily routines that achieve the Tier 2 level of Illinois accreditation. This signifies that the department is in compliance with the professional standards of modern law enforcement. Reaccredited September 5th, 2024, accredited since 2023. Darren Galt, Chief of Police, Lieutenant Derek Colson, Accreditation Manager, Summer O'Leary, Police Business Analyst, on behalf of the Illinois Accreditation Council.
Podium in your way.
Mayor, do you want to come forward? We'll get a picture.
You
We'll get a
all
picture with
did
you.
the work. No,
Come on.
okay, I'll represent the whole council,
There we
but
go.
can we say a few words and
Sure.
clap for you? It is always nice to reward those that work toward high standards, so we're very thankful for everything you do to be such a professional police department and to bring us this accreditation in just a matter of 2 years. Right?
Thank you.
Obligatory photo.
Yes.
Oh, you have to do just that.
Oh, no.
I mean, we do provide a budget. Should you be on?
Yes.
Did you get that picture?
I did, thank you.
Thank you.
Tell me what that means.
Okay. Number 2, or 5.2, 2024 Keep Moline Beautiful Commission City of Moline Superhero Awards. Mr. Park.
Hi, good evening.
He's here.
Of course.
Hi, my name's Andy Park. I'm the Stormwater Utility Manager for the City of Moline. And tonight, I'm also one of the employees and committee members for our Keep Moline Beautiful Commission. Tonight, we're going to be honoring 2 recipients for the Keep Moline Beautiful Superhero Award. And the Superhero Award is awarded to folks in our community who go above and beyond and to help us achieve our mission of keeping Moline beautiful. So I'm going to have Chris Bergen. She's been a committee member since the founding, and I believe in 2008, and she has the privilege of introducing these lovely folks
Wonderful.
and all the work they've done during these awards.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Very happy to be here. I'd like to tell you about our 2 recipients. Nancy Lindstrom has been walking the Forest Hill neighborhood and picking up litter and trash for years. When she asked her friend Marlo Groy to join her, Marlo was thinking she was just coming along for a morning walk. when Nancy pulled out a bag for trash and handed her one as well, Marlo realized this was also a mission to keep their neighborhood beautiful. They now walk both mornings and evenings, bags in hand, alert to garbage, fireball bottles, beer cans, pop cans, fast food debris, and much more. They have cleaned up spilled trash in alleys and parking lots, called businesses to tell them about overflowing dumpsters, and done extra cleanup after parades along the avenue of the cities. When Marlo's daughter, a Moline City employee, learned of these efforts, she encouraged Nancy and Marlo to contact the city and organize a neighborhood association. The Forest Hills Partnership was formed in 2023. In appreciation of Nancy and Marlo's walking the walk twice daily with litter pickup along the way, their dedication to a safe and clean neighborhood, and their commitment to a clean and beautiful Moline, we are proud to recognize them as Keep Moline Beautiful Superheroes of 2024. So thanks so much, Nancy and Marlo, and I'm really glad I live in your neighborhood. And we have some awards for you.
Congratulations from all of us. Thank you for your work.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there any public comment this evening, Chief?
No, there's not.
Okay, we move to, there's no questions on the agenda, no alterations, so we'll move to our committee of the whole items. The first being 8.1, an ordinance amending Chapter 3, signs and advertising of the Moline Code of Ordinances, Section 3-2105, signs allowed on private property with and without permits, to provide for 3 temporary signs per lot. I'm going to turn it over to legal counsel to do the short explanation before.
Okay, yes, thank you, Mayor. The short explanation is that when we reviewed other codes from other various villages and cities in Illinois, and also on discussion from various people, we believe that the limit of one sign is pretty low by comparison, and also in consideration for various, social messages and other groups that residents want to show support for. It did appear that it was very limiting to regulate signs to 1. So the average number of signs permitted by various codes is 3. And now we did not do a search of the entire state, but a smattering of other municipalities. So we thought that perhaps you would like to increase the limit of signs to 3. That would also prevent violations, because as people were calling in, and if you ride around, you often see more than one sign in a yard. So we are advocating for you to approve this amendment.
Motion to approve.
Second. Thank you, Ms. Finch and Ms. Castro. Discussion. Mr. Schmidt.
This is, though not exclusively, primarily applies to political signage.
No, all signs.
In a practical sense, the majority of signs this would apply to would be political signage. I mean, and also fundraisers, the Hate Has No Home Here signs, those sorts of signs.
Right, the Hate Has No Home signs are very prevalent in Moline. Support for school athletics, you see those. So there are a number of different signs that people, would like to have in their yard to support different causes or, support various social messaging.
So the overarching phrase there is content neutral.
So yes, I think that what Mayor is referring to is that you cannot regulate different signs based on their content. So your code and your regulations have to be content neutral. And there are very rare exceptions. So political signs would be treated the same as, Moline, school athletic signs or any other sign because they are all treated the same and our code regulates not on the message, but on the number of signs.
Yes, Mr. Schmidt?
So as it's looking at those signs, I would still make the argument that the majority of those signs that get put up in the city of Moline are political signs. There are other versions, but that would be the largest number of them in existence. Are there other types of signs that are captured into this besides what we're thinking of as like that kind that stick in the yard, like banners hanging on fence posts? I mean, how widely does this capture other types of, what could be similar signage, but that's presented a different way?
I
Right,
think
so,
if you look at the code, as we did because we had members of the public reporting their neighbors because they had looked at the code, it details banners versus
Right.
yard signs that stick in the ground.
right.
Banners, flags, all
versus-
those kinds of things, and still content neutral.
Right, versus window signs. So this is just about those signs in a yard. And, the city's interest in that is aesthetics, of course, and safety. And of course, community spirit. You don't want your neighbors to be overly annoyed by a yard full of signs and, then calls come to City Hall and it's a way to maintain some neutrality in signage.
So to me,
Thank you, Your Honor. This is also great. I just had a garage built at my mom's house and a roof put on. And I am happy to advertise for the companies that do it soon afterwards. I appreciate the 128-day limitation. I'm sure that's only really enforced if it's reported, and that's fine. This also applies to for sale signs. I lived in a town that didn't allow any for sale signs. You might be familiar with it. And there's pros and cons to that. I think that, this is a nice mix and compromise, I feel, with our previous code.
thank you. Anyone else? Yes, Mr. Macias?
Thank you. Is there any other numbers, like 4 signs, 5 signs? Why 3?
Well, 3 was simply an average number from our review of various code provisions. There is no magic to the number 3. It's just very consistent with other, cities and villages.
Yes, Mr.
Another
Macias?
follow-up. And do we know what our neighbors have?
Oh, not off the top of my head. I'm sorry.
I'd be interested in just seeing what they have, just, yeah.
This is
before I
a
make
code
decision.
update, so there'll be 2 more readings. There's time, if you wish to move it forward, there is time to answer that question and make any amendments necessary.
I make a motion to increase the number of allowed signs to 5.
Second.
All right, there's a motion by Schmidt, seconded by Finch, just an amendment. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Mr. Schmidt?
Yeah, and I had some questions on the legality and political signs versus other signs, and those had all been answered in the content neutral components. I'm a strong advocate for the right of someone's free speech. I'm also a strong advocate of someone's right of their own property. And while I recognize that there is a reasonable line to draw, I think that, well, 1 is far too restrictive. 3 is still too restrictive in my mind, given that particularly in a political landscape, if someone had the opportunity to support multiple candidates at multiple levels, while I also know that yard signs don't vote and they're not in that same piece of that puzzle. They're an important part of a lot of people's own positions. And so in respect to their free speech and their property rights, I would like to see us go up to 5.
Yes, Ms. Murphy?
I'm in agreement with Alderman Smith because not this election, but the previous election, my neighbors, I guess, were very nice to me because I had no idea. And I think the average resident has no idea. So I definitely had more than probably about 5. And I didn't know any differently, so I'm glad no one called on me. Since I live on Alderman Road, they just like me, I guess. So
That's a good one. Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Hearing none, all in favor of this amendment to 5 signs from 3?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
All right, so that's 7 to 1. In favor of 5. So now we are back to the motion on the floor as amended. Any further discussion? Mr. Timian?
Rock Island limits 1. I can tell you that. I'm looking at East Moline, can't find it yet, but Rock Island is a 1.
Thank
If
you.
it's enforced.
Right, and we clearly, these are parts of code that are less enforceable unless it's reported, right? But there were instances in the last several months of things being reported, and it did not seem to be a very free kind of, it was too restrictive, that's why it came to the floor. Anything further from the council? Hearing none, all in favor of raising the limit to 5 as amended?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that motion passes 8-0. Thank you very much. 8.2, a resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to accept and attest to 1 drainage easement, more particularly described herein, to allow construction to proceed on capital improvement project 1451 48th Street reconstruction south of 6th Avenue. Mr. Vitas.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Is that David?
I'm here.
Oh, okay, David, take it away.
Sure, this is just a simple drainage easement for our 48th Street Hill project. It's just needed to convey some stormwater down at the bottom of the hill, and we just need to take a small corner there from the Real Estate Trust.
Thank you.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by Finch, seconded by Schmidt. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. 8.3, resolution declaring 2 downtown parklets shown on Exhibit A attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference as surplus property and authorizing the disposal of said parklets by the Moline Center Program Manager via donation to Mercado on 5th, finding such disposition to be most advantageous to the city.
Staff recommends approval.
Motion to approve? Second.
Lord, we're all excited today. Motion by Macias, seconded by Castro, I think? No, Finch was first, thank you.
That was fast.
All right, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes. 8.4, resolution approving change order number 1 and final with 5 Cities Construction Company for project number 1447, 2024 sidewalk infill program for the amount of $12,512.85.
I know you're out there. There you are, David, but staff.
Oh, I'm here. This is a change order for our sidewalk infill project on 19th Avenue and 33rd Street. Some additional retaining walls and some final quantities, $12,512.85 change order, 5.9% increase.
Thank
Motion
you.
to approve?
Second.
Motion by Finch, seconded by Schmidt. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? That motion passes. 8.5, resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute and attest to a licensing agreement with GRT QC Property LLC to construct, install, use, and maintain a sign directly above the existing sign base for advertising/identification purposes only at 4200 38th Avenue that is located in public right-of-way. Mr. Mathias?
Yes, this is simply to, the Starbucks that's gone on 38th Avenue, that's gone in there, they want to reuse the existing sign, which happens to be on public right-of-way. So we're just making sure that license agreement's taken care of to require the insurance is in place for that.
Thank
We
you.
recommend approval.
Motion to approve? Second. Motion by Finch, seconded by Castro. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes. 8.6, an ordinance amending Chapter 22, offenses miscellaneous of the Moline Code of Ordinances by increasing the number of tobacco licenses in the city at the request of ODC QC. Staff.
Staff's recommendation is a policy matter for council consideration.
Yes, that is correct. According to code.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Schmidt, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Timian. Discussion. Yes, Mr. Timian.
I looked at the map, it's not in the cluster of where all the other tobacco shops are, so I'm less hesitant to disapprove, because one thing I'm just trying to avoid is a cluster of similar shops. Their business plan showed a propensity towards more high-end products, which I think we don't have. We have one other in the city. So I think that it's different enough, and it's not right next to all the other ones. So it is kind of hitting that border area between Rock Island and Moline. So I think I'm inclined to approve.
Is there, I just have a question for Econ Dev staff. I walked by during Holiday Hop this weekend and there was already product on shelves. Is that normal? I mean, there's no, they
Before
can.
building permit or anything like
Mhm.
that, no, that wouldn't be normal, I would say. I mean, I would say if you need a license, then you have that in place.
Right, I was a little disturbed to see it, but it was clear it wasn't already, they weren't already in operation. It didn't look like everything was set up, but there was stuff all over the wall, and in cases.
I guess in that case, you're saying it wasn't open to the public then?
Yeah, that I could tell.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything further from council? Mr. Schmidt?
Yeah, I think there was some comment from, I'm presuming a business owner, someone related to the business. I'd like to let have them speak.
Okay, please, can come to the microphone.
Yeah, I was kind of, first of all, thank you, Your Honor, and board members. I was kind of rushed out of the place I was at in Iowa, so I had to hurriedly move everything to the shop and get it ready for opening, and this is actually the last piece that I need to open the shop, so I really appreciate you guys giving me that honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything further from the council? Mr. Macias?
Well, we do have that cap, we've gone up, we denied, just the last time, we denied another individual who had a great story about, his getting off of cigarettes because of it. But we have that for a reason. I'm also concerned with the proximity to Mercado on Fifth during the summer. There's a lot of young people. And as a father of a teenager, I know these things are all over the schools and kids are, it's just, I think we've already gone too far in general. They're everywhere. But I don't know, I'm just concerned with just making another exception to this. That's just my concern.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Razak?
I agree with Macias.
Thank you. I don't know why I'm chuckling. You just kept it simple, very simple.
Straight up.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Castro?
I just have a question. Mr. Timian said that there were not other businesses near there, but there are two on that map that shows that currently have tobacco licenses. Do we know what businesses those are?
When I looked it up, I think it is the Eagle's Nest. And then another place similar, but I couldn't quite identify
Kind of like
it.
It feels like a different, it's more of a convenience store
Yeah.
type of model than, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Anything further from the council? I just remind you of the situation in Iowa impacting us. And if that is a factor in your decision-making, we understand it. But that Iowa changed its rules, and that is why you have seen this influx of requests for tobacco licenses. Every once in a while, Illinois does have to stand up for itself and not take that from across the river. Yes, Mr. Schmidt?
Yeah, I really struggle with ones like this and the arguments of location and how it is spread out. But I think as we think about these locations, we've been fairly consistent in not allowing new businesses that are exclusively focused in these products, and I'm inclined to vote that way. I am sorry that's disrupting to a business model and to how people have been looking to go, but I think we have enough of these businesses in Moline, and I'm not looking to expand them at this time.
All right. Is there anything further from the council? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
That would be in favor of giving the license, yes, okay.
Correct.
One aye, all opposed?
Nay.
All right. Do I need a voice vote? No, that was clear, so nays carry. We move to our next item, 8.7, an ordinance amending chapter 22, offenses miscellaneous of the Moline Code of Ordinances by increasing the number of tobacco licenses in the city at the request of Munchie's Supermarket. Staff.
Again, staff's recommendation, and leave it up to council.
Correct.
It's the cap.
Motion to approve.
Second. Motion by Timian, seconded by Finch. Discussion. Mr. Timian.
This is my neighborhood. It's a good location. It is going to be empty otherwise. It used to be a Dairy Queen when I was a kid. Then it was Quad City Pizza Company. It will be a convenience store with pizza, chicken, and other convenience store products. So you'll be able to eat there, and smoked products are a part of it as well. I'm not sure if this is related to the other Munchies in Colorado or not. I did not get that deep, but there is another convenience store with a similar business model elsewhere. Regardless, it is a good addition to an area of the avenue that needs economic development. So I'm inclined to approve.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Schmidt?
When we look at a location like this, do we have, I just do not remember, a mechanism in our code similar to gambling where their tobacco can only make up a certain percentage of revenue? Is there anything like that?
No.
I am concerned of having a business that comes in looking to make a larger piece work, and then but all that it ends up working is the tobacco piece, and then falling back to that. I don't know that we have any mechanism to prevent that from happening. I'm thinking we don't.
Right.
Besides, obviously, the success of the business model. So I understand the point of this being more. I'm still concerned about that further spread.
As local liquor commissioner who deals with code compliance all the time for those licenses and for gaming, I can tell you that it would not surprise me, based on the comments you saw in the emails from staff, where they're happy to get along with their business model without the liquor license because of our code that says it's too close to the BP station, which also happens to be a convenience store. It's really hard to think that they won't have predominant sales of tobacco if they are comfortable losing liquor. So it is, we can't predict what a business person will do, but we don't have safeguards, as you're saying. And I just point that out based on experience. It's very difficult. And then you end up going back and holding them accountable to the code in some other way. Mr. Macias.
Thank you, Your Honor. And the other thing, the more of these businesses we have here, it's going to be more competitive. They're not going to be, the ones that chose Moline a long time ago are not going to be as competitive. So I also think about the ones that chose Moline a long time ago to establish these businesses. And again, we're not the only city on the Illinois side seeing this. It's happening with our neighbors all across the Illinois side of the Quad Cities. So, well, I do think it's creative that they're offering food, and it could be, something different. Still, I think ultimately they're cash cow is gonna be the tobacco.
Yes, Ms. Murphy.
My concern is we have turned down several in the last month. We have to have some kind of uniformity or equity here. That, you know, if we're not gonna change the cap, we're not gonna change the cap. We can't pick and choose. I don't think so. I don't think that's fair to cherry pick and say that this business is okay now.
Understood.
That's just my understanding. Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Timian.
That's literally what we do, though, is pick and choose. Like, that's why it comes before us. And this is a corridor in the city that now has 2 empty restaurants with other empty storefronts. And one of the promises I made was that I wanted to fill empty storefronts. And businesses are businesses. If they turn out to be tobacco only and they go against their word, they have to renew their license. And that comes before the commissioner, and that's a discussion that could be had. We can amend the code to require a percentage of tobacco sales to non-tobacco sales for a new form of tobacco license that we create. There's a lot of options we have, but cherry picking is why we have this decision power. And I'm not comfortable with more and more empty buildings because the decision that we made to reject all businesses of this type.
Let me point one thing out. I hear your point. Not here to argue with you, just here to help guide the conversation through our agenda. Though as people who delve into economic development all the time, the council needs to ask itself, what kind of economic development do you want? Do you want a whole lot of small businesses of this same type? Or do you want to balance that with the impact we're trying to make with larger commercial economic development? Not every business is not the same, is the point of that commentary. Anything else from the council? Yes, Mr. Schmidt?
Yeah, I very much agree that we are meant to be making the decisions and drawing those lines, and I think this is an instance that gets closer to the line, I think, which makes it a harder decision. But it is about what is it that goes into a business that would make us say, yes, that is the type of added tobacco activity that we want in our city, and that's just the decision that we're all gonna have to make. I don't think it's right for us to decide on, well, it's gonna be another mini mart next to, I mean, that's not our responsibility. It really is just about whether we want this type of business to be growing and proliferating.
Anything further from the council? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
One aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
All right, 1 aye, 7 nays. Motion does not pass. Number 8.8, a resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute and attest to an agreement with Precision Builders, Inc. for project PW-2024-006, City of Moline, City Hall Controlled Entry Project for the amount of $304,950.
Good evening. So this project will be City Hall front lobby. I think we're trying to balance having a welcoming City Hall for residents to conduct business, but also making some security enhancements for staff as well. So there'll be restricted access for certain areas in City Hall because of this project. The project will also include ADA restroom right in the front, along with reconfiguring the reception area and waiting area.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion by Finch, seconded by Castro. Discussion. Just want to reiterate the safety piece for the public. There have been multiple instances of, quote, random people getting up all the way into this hallway out here, and staff having to manage those situations. It is a safety risk, and if you go to other city halls in the Quad Cities, you will see much safer conditions. So for our staff's sake and those of us here on a regular basis, this expense is understandable. Anything further?
Recommending approval.
Thank you. If there's nothing further, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. 8.9, a resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute and attest to an agreement with Daxon Construction Company for project PW 2024-005, City of Moline Public Works Building Controlled Entry Project for the amount of $251,424.
So similarly, we're also recommending contract approval. This is for the Public Works Building. Currently holds not only Public Works staff, but engineering staff, Parks and Rec, and a portion of community development staff as well. This will be in the front lobby area as well. There's two sections of that building really that primarily have staff located. They'll be secured in both of those locations. This project will also include a small meeting room as well in that front area. There's currently only one conference room in the entire building, so this would give us an additional meeting room.
Motion to approve. Second. Motion by Finch, seconded by Castro. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes. 8.10, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute 2 pipeline license agreements with Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railway that authorizes the city to access the water main and sanitary sewer located within the railroad right-of-way to perform construction work related to motor fuel tax, section 23-00292-00-RP, 34th Street reconstruction from 4th Avenue to University Drive, and future maintenance for a one-time payment of $7,400.
This is our, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, David, I know you're there.
I'm here. This is for our 34th Street projects, a $7,400 license agreement with the BNSF to cure in place pipelining fittings for the sanitary sewer under the 2 railroad tracks on 34th Street. And this will just let us get this work done in advance of our project.
Thank you.
Motion to approve.
Second. Motion by Schmidt, seconded by Finch. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. 8.11, a resolution approving change order number 1 and final with Legacy Corporation for motor fuel tax, section number 22-00284-00-RP, 47th Street reconstruction for the amount of $29,515.49.
I'll take
This is for,
Yeah.
you go ahead, Bob.
Let's let Bob take this one.
That's very good.
No, I'm very happy to do that. With this change order, this brings a conclusion to the contract that we have with Legacy Corporation for the reconstruction of 47th Street. And as we all know, I mean, it was a difficult project, but this $29,515 is what is owed in order to conclude the project, so we're recommending approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Finch, seconded by Macias. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
All right, that motion passes 7-1. All right, 8.12, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a joint funding agreement for federally funded PE/ROW for motor fuel tax, section number 24-00297-00-PV, Phase 1 engineering services for the 16th Avenue and 15th Street intersection reconstruction/carbon reduction project, and approving a resolution for improvement under the Illinois Highway Code appropriating motor fuel tax funds for the city's local match for motor fuel tax, section number 24-00297-00-PV, Phase 1 engineering services, 16th Avenue and 15th Street intersection reconstruction/carbon reduction project for the amount of $43,750.
I'm going to add that this explanation is like a roundabout. It's just a big. So go ahead, David. I know you're there.
Well, I'm, what the mayor said is exactly what I was going to say. It's for $43,750. It's an 80-20 split. This is a Phase 1 engineering agreement. We have Hutchinson Engineers on the hook to do the work for us, and this step is just a requirement from the state.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Finch, seconded by Macias. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
8.13, a resolution approving change order number 1 and final with Centennial Contractors of the Quad Cities, Inc. for project 1452 Avenue of the Cities and 41st Street pedestrian improvements for the amount of $7,385.04.
This is just a small change order for our project at Avenue of the Cities, the pedestrian improvement project with pedestrian push buttons at the traffic signals and some curb ramps and some pavement patching. So this additional cost was just for some additional patching.
Thank you.
Motion to approve?
Motion by Finch, seconded by Macias. Discussion. Yes, Mr. Timian?
I know this is just a budget amendment, not, but just we're adding some funding, but I did want to thank engineering for this. We didn't have crosswalks at a very, very busy intersection where a lot of kids go. Or we had crosswalks, we didn't have signals. And I just think that this was a huge benefit to that whole area. So I just wanted to.
And we couldn't agree with you more. It was a good project.
Thank you. 1 second. All right. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. 8.14, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a government entity contribution agreement with the Quad City Convention and Visitors Bureau to dedicate hotel/motel tax revenue stream for an annual amount equal to 25% gross revenues of the same.
Madam Mayor, members of council, staff is recommending approval of the government entity contribution agreement with Visit Quad Cities relative to an ongoing funding arrangement we've had with Visit Quad Cities for forever, basically. We are one of the 7 contributors here as a local government. We would have brought this thing forward a little bit sooner, but we were waiting to see whether or not we'd be partnering with East Moline in terms of an intergovernmental agreement. They ultimately, as an entity, decided they were going to just renew theirs annually, and that was their council's decision. At this point, I believe Davenport, Bettendorf, Rock Island have already approved the agreement. We're recommending approval. The 25% gross revenues that come from the hotel motel tax is already funded in 2024. So this will basically solidify the action we took going into last year's budget adoption and this year's funding. And then annually, you'll have the opportunity to review that contribution amount during the budget process. So we're recommending approval, and Mr. Harrell is here, been patiently sitting in the audience in case anybody has questions beyond that.
Can we get a motion?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by Finch, seconded by Castro. Mr. Schmidt?
Your Honor, I just want to state once again that I have a business relationship with the Quad City Convention and Visitors Bureau, with Visit Quad Cities through work. It is not a conflict of interest, but I like to notify, do a little project management on some creative pieces.
Thank you. Anything further from the council? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes. Thank you very much. Thanks for your partnership. We move to our informationals. 9.1, November 2024 Status and Information Report. Mr. Vitas.
Yes, Madam Mayor, members of council, I'm going to keep this short because Carol is going to take, I believe, the next presentation, which will take much longer, actually. But as you know, monthly we report on activities throughout the city, not only to council, but to the general public, and this information is posted live on our webpage for those who have an interest in what we're doing. The list is lengthy. I will point out the closing on the Bethany building property was successfully concluded, and we are moving forward with plans for painting and carpeting the building, and looking at the relocation of staff several months from now. It's not going to happen immediately, just so you're aware of it, but that process is underway, and thank you for your support on that for the one-stop shop. As you go through the list, I mean, just questions, I'm more than happy to answer because it's a long list.
I have a question, and I'll get to you.
Thank you,
Thank you, Mr. Timian. Why is the McManus Pub not down yet? This has been months and months and months. It looks terrible over there, and we have a plan to make it look good.
I will answer that by saying it started well over a year ago that we started this process. There were some title issues that were encountered, that we encountered, our legal team encountered, involving Mr. Stern and that property. Those finally got resolved, and then as we moved forward, then we also realized there were some utility conflicts that had to be addressed out there, where there are shared common sanitary sewer lines. And you can't just simply knock the building down without addressing the underground utilities. All the utilities outside of ours were, of course, shut off. It took time for Mid-American to get out to shut off the gas as well as electricity. The bids came in, and we're going to be bringing that forward, I believe, on the 19th. So it will be down before the snow flies.
Okay.
That's what I've been
Thank you.
saying.
Hope so. Thank
I
you.
hope so too.
Mr. Timmy.
I don't want to get ahead of myself, but considering that we're talking about reallocating 700,000 from the bikeways multimodal plan, which was a strategic goal, and now I don't find in the dashboard, is this just now something we're not? I'm searching for bikeways and multimodal in here, and I don't see it. Obviously, there are projects listed, but the
Yes.
overall plan of the city, I don't see in here. I know we talked about possibly rolling it into the comp plan.
That was my thinking. I figured it would be part of the comp plan.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, the comprehensive plan includes a transportation element, which also includes all things multimodal.
Okay, so was that 700, we can talk about this in budget, but I'm just curious, if that 700 was just kind of parking, we didn't need it for that, and we were just hoping that maybe we would, or, because if it's part of the comp plan, it's part of the comp plan, but that's.
Yeah, well, I mean, the comprehensive plan, of course, is, we plan on soliciting professional proposals for that in January. We were waiting, hopefully waiting to finish up things with MKSK because it's such a huge, heavy lift. And once that was done, it was always known we would go then to the next step, which would be the comprehensive plan update. And all things multimodal get discussed in there, along with the zoning issues that I know you have a great concern over. So, you know, the money that's there is there for that purpose. It's not being reallocated for, you know, some other project, like a sanitary sewer or a water line or anything like that. Sorry, Charlie.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from the council about this status information report? Seeing none, we'll move to 9.2, 2025 City Council Budget Work Session. Ms. Barnes, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor and Council. Per Council's direction, following our Saturday budget work session back on October the 26th, I worked with the fire chief and with our city administrator on funding options to hire 6 firefighters to operate the 3rd ambulance effective January 1 of 25. So we've spent the last couple of weeks kind of going back and forth, tried to be creative, and I'd like to go through what our final recommendation is. And I know that's kind of hard to see, so it's probably easiest to kind of look on your screen. If you follow along the first half of the page, I don't think this thing has a little pointer on it, you will see the projected cost for each of the next 3 years, for 25, 26, and 27. The chief worked with HR to come up with some of the salary costs, projected salary costs. And so if we kind of go down the row, and I'll just kind of zero in on 2025, we've got salaries of $390,000. That would be effective January 1st. Benefits, and this is our standard benefits with health insurance and if there's any FICA or anything like that, Medicare. And then pension benefits average about 17.5%, so that's $68,000. We've got uniforms for each of the 6 at about $800 apiece, which is $4,800. And then gear every 5 years, which is just shy of $5,500 apiece for $32,670. And then training, primarily in that first year, $10,000 apiece times 6 would be $60,000 for a total projected cost in 25 of $680,000. Then you can see for 26 and 27, some of the gear and training drops off. So we start back in 26 at $636 and then jump up to $695 in 2027, based on union contracts and what that pay is. So then we found out what the costs were, so it's like, now how are we going to pay for that? And that's where the actual work really began. And the chief spent a lot of time working on this. And the bottom line is what we came up with is a reduction in overtime is primarily the mechanism to accomplish this. And so for 2025, the chief is saying that he believes he can reduce overtime by $345,000 down to an annual amount. It's not shown on this page. But the actual overtime that is still budgeted would be $625,000. So he would still have $625,000. He's going to reduce it down $345,000. In addition, based on call volume, we anticipate we can increase the GEMT revenue, and that is the ground emergency medical transport revenue that we get. It's been averaging about 5.3% annually. So if we take a look at that, annualize it up, we think we can get at least $116,000. We think that's a conservative number, but we wanted to be conservative. $116,000 in additional revenue, which then shows a shortfall of about $218,000 in '25. And as we had talked about on Saturday, we've got $2 million that has been set aside for design work on the construction of the new fire station, and it's available now. We had targeted it to be starting to use it in '26, and we're very pleased to report we thought we were going to be using upwards of $1 million. Over the course of the 3 years, it's about $374,000 if you look at the total past the year 2027. So if we take a look then in the yellow, which is the recommendations, again, this plan would allow us to implement the third ambulance the first week in January of 2025. The chief will continue to manage overtime and not exceed the budgeted amounts between '25 and 2027. So that's a stretch goal, but the chief believes that he should be able to achieve that. And then based upon the above projections, the net budget dollars available for design work will still total in excess of $1.6 million. So as we move into the construction and we try to negotiate what those design fees are, they're typically a percentage of the project. We are hopeful that that amount is still going to be a good amount. We also have a couple of more years until we hit that point. If we end up and we need to add to it, hopefully there's some ways we can do that as well. The best news is this plan does allow the construction of the new fire station to stay on track. We're very hopeful that we can still begin in 2027 as planned, and again, it will require bonding, but it would be to break ground in 2027 to get this going. And so again, the main thing is it's a reduction in overtime with some increased revenue that allows this to happen, but we feel that it's achievable.
Mr. Schmidt?
Chief, with the decrease in overtime, I mean, is that compared to our actuals or just what we were expected to do because we were going to be short-staffed? I mean, how are we making up that difference in the overtime category?
I think throughout the past few years being short-staffed, as short-staffed as we were, the overtime budget was driven up and maybe not correctly. Well, we haven't really had an opportunity really to correct what we were asking for in that budget overtime. I've seen trends recently, and I can provide you with some of that data that has shown since becoming fully staffed, we've drastically reduced that overtime already. By hiring the 6 individuals, barring long-term injuries or a lot of call-offs, or we do have a lot of military on our fire department right now, so we do have to pay a significant amount of overtime for their training, but that's required obviously. But I believe that having that third ambulance will allow us, like I said, with extensive injury or something, we could shut that ambulance down for a day rather than calling somebody in for overtime, so we wouldn't have to pay it. So I think a combination of all that, we'll be able to see a drastic reduction.
Excellent. Just want to make sure we're not causing one other staffing problem to
No,
solve another.
I certainly don't see that happening.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you. So we need to give some feedback from the council. One excellent over here. so that you know for the next final presentation of the budget that this is the direction we want to
Yes.
go. Seeing nodding heads, anyone with an alternative opinion? Yes, Mr. Schmidt?
No, I also appreciate us working within what we have and some of that money we had set aside. I know the whole point of setting aside that money was to help to reduce what we will have to bond for the fire station. We put it away when we had that as where that was, and I think that we're making a good choice in how to meet the needs we have now and keep adjusting it, knowing, that, not that we want to be bonding for a whole lot more, but that is, we have a plan in place that will allow us to make up for that difference. So I don't feel like we're causing, just like overtime, we're not causing a hole to ourselves. So appreciate that.
I also wanted to reiterate, if I hadn't said it publicly, but what was shared with us about the inequity between who has to pay for an ambulance, to come from another city versus who doesn't when it comes from the arsenal. I'm glad we're able to address this issue because that's a service by this city that should be equitable. And we can't have the chance of doing that by having the third ambulance. So thank you so much. We'll look forward to voting on that when we vote on the budget.
Yes.
Right?
And just so you know, I had talked to Bob. We decided jointly to go ahead and publish our public hearing notice that is required in the paper. It does include these dollars. We can always change the budget up or down, but we would prefer it to go, on the downside. So we wanted to make sure we published the higher amount. So,
thank you. What's your next item?
So the next item is just, so you can kind of see the impact. We did update the general fund because the firefighters are part of the general fund. And as you know, we had already talked about not including or reducing that 1% grocery tax. So down in the yellow, if you have it on your screen, the fund balances as shown include the elimination of the grocery tax for 26 and 27. It includes all the additions necessary to fund the firefighters. And then the parking revenue and expenditures, we move to another fund. And so I'll hit that in just a moment, but you can see the impact on the general fund. In 25, net of all of our cash advances to TIF. In 25, the general fund balance would be 24.25, going down to a little more than 20% in the year 2027.
Which then gets us in jeopardy with our fund balance policy, correct?
Yeah, it stays, but it's not sustainable. I mean,
Yeah, after that, we're screwed, basically.
Yeah,
right.
I have to address it.
It's a lot harder to make
Yes.
up the hole that it creates in the
Yes.
budget. And I wanted to share with the council, and I see your hand, Mr. Timian, that last Tuesday, the intergovernmental meeting of the Illinois Quad Cities through Bi-State met, and all those administrators and city administrators and mayors, we're the only one considering not reinstituting the grocery tax. There's a reason our neighbors are keeping it. And when I very informally polled leaders on MCDC who are neighborhood leaders and talked about kinds of the things that we would have to give up, like putting out there like maybe certain services that people enjoy in order to fill the hole. Their preference was to just keep the grocery tax, even though we all know we want to get rid of taxes if we can, right? Because that is something they're used to paying. And the elimination of the other service would be much more detrimental and be a hardship for a lot of people who need that service. So just some perspective on a very informal, very small group of people that I talked to. But it would not be odd for us to go ahead and reinstitute the grocery sales tax as is our purview via the law, just like all of our counterparts are doing. So that's updated info for you. Mr. Timian.
Carol, do these projections up in 2027 include the waste station LRS tax, property tax?
Yes, but that is in the tip number
Yeah.
7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's paying the debt on tip 7, right?
Yes,
Okay.
no, but that is impacting the amount of cash advances, you're correct, that we give from the general fund to that tip. So yes, it does include that. If not for LRS, this number would probably be 18 or 19%.
Sooner than
Sooner.
27.
Yes.
Okay, got you. Yes, Mr. Schmidt.
I think I too expect that we will choose to put the grocery tax back in place. I know that I had pushed for removing it out of our budgeting at this point until we had made that policy decision. So I do appreciate that we did that work to make sure that's there. Just making sure that when we're making that decision, we kind of know what the impacts are, what that means to us in the long term. That'll help, like you said, justify it to the community. And I appreciate that we go through our due diligence of making sure it's something that we will continue to need. So.
Mr. Timmy.
Sorry, Your Honor. Carol, did we ever get a real number from the state? So we're still just playing with an imaginary $1 million, pretty much?
That's definitely more than
That's
our
more than a
neighbors who
million.
have calculated a certain way
Yes.
too. Yeah.
If I could add,
Yes, please.
just in conversations with Steve Seaver, when this first came up and went into effect, it was $1 million.
I don't know if
It was
they
a-
know who he is.
He is the village administrator in Moline. You know, their number, and they have one major grocery store there, which is kind of regional, it's $1 million. You count your grocery stores and figure it out. It's significant, it's significantly more than $1 million. That's a conservative, ultra-conservative number.
Yeah.
Okay. So polling, so you know what needs to be included in the budget.
Yes.
What does this council want to see, these worked up numbers that have that grocery sales tax impact with it out of the budget, or do we go back to what they originally presented? Ms. Finch,
I was gonna say in,
keep which one in?
the grocery tax.
Keep it in,
Yeah.
okay, so what they originally presented? Yes, Mr. Schmidt?
Absolutely out. I think it's irresponsible for us to put a tax into our budget that we have not yet approved. And so, I mean, I think we know that that's the change that's coming, but 2025 is balanced. We're talking about a problem in 26 and 27. And so I think that's appropriate for us to leave that until we've made that policy decision.
Any other thoughts from the council?
I'd
Mr.
say,
Macias?
I'd say in, because we could always bring it down.
It could be amended down. Mr. Timian?
I'll go without.
Only helpful
For the same reasons,
Yeah,
this
okay.
allows us, I mean, I'm not against trying to figure out an alternative tax that is not regressive in nature. That doesn't mean I'll be successful, but I'd like to kind of see where the numbers are as a motivation for that until we've adopted such a tax. And I know we have the entire year to really make that decision. Understanding we probably will land back with the sales tax.
Well, just so this council knows, I mean, there's no need for us to delay on making the decision. So, I mean, we certainly can just put it on the agenda to talk it through
between now and
anytime, and
September
then,
next year.
yeah. Mr. Schmidt?
And absolutely, and it could come up in January, February, whenever we want it to come up. But I think I want to ensure that when we do it, we give ourselves time for considering and looking at those options and opportunities and laying it out. I don't want it to just be here it is, vote for it. I mean, I want us to have kind of the laid out with the long memo and to make a consideration.
Okay, so it doesn't impact 2025.
No.
So but it does impact 26 and 27 and can be adjusted in our future budget documents based on what we decide in the coming weeks. Okay. So I guess I just heard 2, keep it out. 2, keep it in. Can we get
out?
Yeah, I think,
Out. Out.
Yeah.
Okay, the majority is recommending keep it out. Okay, we'll come
bring
back to
something
it.
back January, February, in that time range.
Thank you.
And then the last thing I just wanted, and that is almost impossible to see, I can't even see it to go, but if it's on your page 8 on your screens, just wanted you to know that we did add a parking ramp or a parking system fund. And it will in the future, it will include all of the leases starting in January 1 of '25. Any maintenance costs that we currently budget for in the general fund, we transferred all that into this fund. And then you will see there is a $300,000 transfer in for capital projects that we talked about. So this will be very nice as we move forward on this fund. And when that structural engineer does the presentation here before the end of the year.
Mr. Timian?
Our current code mandates parking meters go to the parking meter fund. I know we're not talking about that. I'm questioning if we should update the code to say that fees collected from parking rental goes towards this fund. And like, just as a matter of city code. I don't know if that's necessary or if it's, and we could do some cleanup with the meter fund too, or bring them back. And, yeah, I'm just curious if legal counsel's thought on that.
I do support a code amendment.
Okay, we'll look at that in future. Mr. Schmidt?
And down that same path, I think that we know that we don't want to start any major planning until after that report has come in, and then we'll sort of have to deal with the most immediate needs of that report first. But then likely as we look into next year, we're probably either into some sort of roundtable or a larger discussion of how we build this out. Because I think there's a lot of agreement, certainly we want to be doing this and figuring out the best way and stopping it from giving us surprise
$1 million expenses, yeah. Got you.
I'm getting a little tired of those.
Yes.
Okay, what's next?
Here.
Those are primarily the carryovers from Saturday, last Saturday on the budget work session, unless people have any questions.
It's really, really helpful. Thank you
Okay.
for having it prepared for us.
And so lastly, I gave a little handout that is at your places that I would like to go through if I could. I'd like to give an update on our ARPA funds, and I'm very excited to share this news. Following our Saturday budget work session, we tried to think very creatively, how in the world can we consider spending ARPA funds prior to December 31st of '26? Because everybody seemed in favor of that. So when we were filing our last quarterly report, October 31st, here of '24, Lori and I were looking around, navigating through all the software, and we saw an option where you can record previous year's projects that are ARPA compliant. So we took a deep nosedive into this. We called the auditor, we talked to Bob, we talked to the mayor, and the bottom line is we are recommending council consider using previous year's sewer projects going clear back to 2021, 22, and 23 to obligate our ARPA for all the remaining ARPA funds that we have. And then we're gonna transfer the money into sewer to have covered those projects. And then at the same time, we're gonna turn around and give all the money back to your plan that we have adopted. So we're gonna obligate it under sewer. We're gonna free up all the money, and we're gonna follow this plan or any plan. If you want to change this, we can change it.
Yeah, we're not stuck.
But we're planning to follow the plan right now. But the wonderful news is, first of all, we are totally compliant. Our auditors have already given their blessing. Other communities have already been doing this, especially in this scramble here, because everything has to be obligated by the end of the year. This will allow us to use 100% of the ARPA funds by this December. So if there's ever any future change or trying to claw back any funds, the money has already been totally compliant.
You said by this December.
Yes.
This December.
That is perfect.
Under this December.
Perfect.
And the other good news is if you kind of give a nod in this direction, we can include all of those changes in the budget amendments that you're going to see next week on November the 19th. And then even better than that, if I can say better than that, The 2025 budget that will be coming forward to you December 3rd will actually be reduced by over $3 million because all the transfers that are taking place are in the 24 year now. And so, yeah, we're gonna be adopting a budget that's about 3 million less than what was published. But in a nutshell, you do need to go, I don't have it up on the screen. Look at the very last page. What this means in 2024, and this is a one-time thing, and you know the transfers are in and out. You transfer to a fund and you transfer it out. From ARPA, we would be transferring out a total of $9.6 million between sewer and water. That's that second column. Then we're gonna turn around and all the money that was in the sewer portion, the 8.2 million, we're gonna push it back to all the funds that are in the ARPA plan that is listed on this colored page. And the total budget amendment though, and I'll have that in the cover letter, is we will have an amendment for $17.8 million of in and out transfers. But again, we have already looked at all the projects with the auditors. And the good news on that end, they've already audited all those projects. They simply need to take a little deeper dive just to ensure that they're compliant with ARPA. But what we looked through right away, we took the big projects and we're in really good shape if the council chooses to do this.
That's really wonderful news. Using federal dollars now is very important.
Yes.
Also, just FYI, I did double check with Chief about some federal dollars that are coming our way there to make sure we get a hold of those. But I just want to triple check. So it's committed, right?
Obligated.
It's obligated and like, we don't have to have contracts in hand for these other projects that it's going to, because it's basically a payback
It's paying you back. yeah.
from other projects. That's perfect.
Sewer projects and water are right now in the restricted category, and the projects that we have chosen are totally in compliance with ARPA. Our council, we never chose sewer projects to be some of the ARPA spending, but we can do it at any time, and we can go back. We can go back and obligate that.
Thank you. Anything from the council? I'm seeing agreement with your plan.
Excellent.
No objection.
Yes,
It's a great
Mr.
plan.
Timian.
This is great. I will ask that, obviously, you know where that money's going.
Oh, yes.
It allows us to potentially change our mind later in the year if these tides change and we need to be freed up $1 million or so. So just obviously keep in mind what we haven't spent, but is, because at this point, it's no longer ARPA money, it's ARPA projects that is using transferred money, so it's our money to do with what we want.
Absolutely.
Correct.
So
Yes.
just,
Gives us
it's a piggy
flexibility.
bank if we need to.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
It's wonderful. Look forward to the rest of our budget voting.
Yes. And that's all I had, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carol.
Yes.
All right, that finishes out our Committee of the Whole. We'll call our regular council meeting to order. Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, do you have an invocation, Mr. Razak?
No,
Oh, okay. Got you. Roll call, please.
Alderperson Murphy,
Present?
Macias.
Present.
Razak,
Present.
Timian,
Present?
Finch,
Present.
McNeil,
Present.
Castro.
Present.
Schmidt.
Present?
Your Honor, I request the approval of Committee of the Whole, Council, and Executive Session meeting minutes of October 22, 2024, Council meeting minutes of October 26, 2024, and consent agenda items 15.1, 15.2, and 16.1 through 16.4 inclusively.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, roll call, please.
Alderperson Razak,
Aye.
Timian,
Aye.
Finch,
Aye.
McNeil,
Aye.
Castro.
Aye.
Schmidt,
Aye.
Murphy?
Aye.
Macias?
Aye.
Non-consent agenda resolutions. Item number 18.1, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a local public agency joint funding agreement for federally funded construction for motor fuel tax, section number 21-00287-00-RS, 19th Avenue resurfacing from 7th Street to 16th Street, and approving a resolution for improvement under the Illinois Highway Code appropriating motor fuel tax funds for the city's local match for motor fuel tax, section number 21-00287-00-RS, 19th Avenue resurfacing from 7th Street to 16th Street for the amount of $302,146.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Finch, seconded by Razak. Discussion? Hearing none, roll call please.
Alderperson Razak,
Aye.
Timian,
Aye.
Finch,
Aye.
McNeil,
Aye.
Castro,
Aye.
Schmidt,
Aye.
Murphy,
Aye.
Macias.
Aye.
8 ayes, no nays, that motion carries. Item number 18.2, a resolution authorizing the Human Resources Director to execute a policy with United Healthcare BP to provide reinsurance coverage for medical and prescription drug benefit claims for a 1-year period commencing January 1, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? I'm sorry, did you catch that? It was Finch and Castro. Thank you. Discussion? Hearing none, roll call please.
Alderperson Razak,
Aye.
Timian,
Aye.
Finch,
Aye.
McNeil,
Aye.
Castro,
Aye.
Schmidt,
Aye.
Murphy,
Aye.
Macias.
Aye.
8 ayes, no nays, that motion carries. Non-consent agenda, first reading ordinances. Item number 19.1, an ordinance amending Chapter 20, Motor Vehicles and Traffic of the Moline Code of Ordinances, Appendix 27 thereof, loading zones, by adding 7th Street on the east side, beginning at a point 65 feet south of 4th Avenue Place, continuing south for 40 feet for the hours of 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Monday through Friday, and 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday.
Motion to advance the second reading.
Second.
Motion by Finch, seconded by Castro. Discussion? Hearing none, roll call please.
Alderperson Razak,
Aye.
Timian,
Aye.
Finch,
Aye.
McNeil,
Aye.
Castro,
Aye.
Schmidt,
Aye.
Murphy,
Aye.
Macias.
Aye.
8 ayes, no nays, motion to advance to second reading carries. Item number 19.2, an ordinance levying and assessing taxes for the city of Moline, Illinois for the tax levy year 2024, collectible in the year 2025, and enacting an ordinance relating to the same subject matter.
Motion to advance the second reading.
Second.
Motion by Finch, seconded by Macias. Discussion? Hearing none, roll call please.
Alderperson Razak,
Aye.
Timian,
Aye.
Finch,
Aye.
McNeil,
Aye.
Castro,
Aye.
Schmidt,
Aye.
Murphy,
Aye.
Macias.
Aye.
8 ayes, no nays, motion to advance to second reading carries. Item number 19.3, an ordinance levying a special ad valorem tax within the city of Moline, Illinois, special service area number 5 of the city of Moline, Illinois.
Motion to advance the second reading.
Second.
Motion by Finch, seconded by Macias. Discussion? Hearing none, roll call please.
Alderperson Razak,
Aye.
Timian,
Aye.
Finch,
Aye.
McNeil,
Aye.
Castro,
Aye.
Schmidt,
Aye.
Murphy,
Aye.
Macias.
Aye.
8 ayes, no nays, and motion to advance to second reading carries. Item number 19.4, an ordinance levying a special ad valorem tax within the city of Moline, Illinois, special service area number 6 of the city of Moline, Illinois.
Motion to advance the second reading.
Second.
Motion by Finch, seconded by Macias. Discussion? Hearing none, roll call please.
Alderperson Razak,
Aye.
Timian,
Aye.
Finch,
Aye.
McNeil,
Aye.
Castro,
Aye.
Schmidt,
Aye.
Murphy,
Aye.
Macias.
Aye.
8 ayes, no nays, motion to advance to second reading carries. Item number 19.5, an ordinance requesting the county clerk not to extend 2025 taxes for payment of principal and interest for the general obligation corporate purpose bonds, Series 2016, refunding taxable general obligation refunding bond, Series 2020A, general obligation corporate purpose bond, Series 2021A, refunding general obligation corporate bonds, Series 2021B, refunding and general obligation corporate bonds, Series 2021D.
Motion to advance the second reading.
Second.
Motion by Finch, seconded by Castro. Discussion? Hearing none, roll call please.
Alderperson Razak,
Aye.
Timian,
Aye.
Finch,
Aye.
McNeil,
Aye.
Castro,
Aye.
Schmidt,
Aye.
Murphy,
Aye.
Macias.
Aye.
8 ayes, no nays, motion to advance to second reading carries, and that's all I have this evening, Your Honor.
All right. Just want to thank our partnership, we're under miscellaneous business now, a partnership with Moline Center Holiday Hop was amazing. It was wonderful to see so many people downtown. Also, last week on Fifth Avenue, the ribbon cutting for the Sorbeck Lofts. Wonderful to see after so many years of that development agreement. And I said there, at that ribbon cutting, I said, sometimes people say, you know, like, bring back life to Fifth Avenue. And I think, have you not been to Fifth Avenue in a while then? Because it really is full of life. And that's wonderful to see downtown. So looking forward to as we expand our redevelopment down by the river. And that's all I have. Ms. Murphy.
Nothing.
Mr. Macias.
Thank you, Your Honor. I too was at Holiday Hop. It was just awesome to see. And also just analog. It was so, they have the Christmas, I forget what they call it, but they got blow-ups. And so you got to, if you have kids, take them to this thing. It's awesome. And there's a new little shop that we went to, Ansel and Elm. The retail shop has got really unique gifts. So yeah, and it just happened that we were going to a birthday party and we found the perfect gift there. So yeah, it's nice to see retail in full effect. So yeah, thank you. I want to share my thanks to Kirk and everybody at Moline Center for it. So thank you.
Thank
you, Your Honor. Mr. Timmy.
Thank you, Your Honor. Two things. I wanted to thank the CED, Parks Department, Water Police. They came out again for the Logan Trunk or Treat, which is a great community event for the area. They always deliver. It's just the kids in the neighborhood. This is one of the best days of the year. Everyone just walks there or they take the bus or drive. It's a neighborhood school, and it's just a carnival, and it's fantastic. And I want to thank the city staff for that. Also, the forestry department worked with the fifth graders at Logan, and we planted some trees at Optimus Park, and they just had the best time digging the holes, moving the trees in there. And I really appreciate when the city involves the future leaders or even just residents of the city in contributing to their own community. So I just wanted to thank them for that.
Ms. Finch?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Mr. McNeil.
I think it's pretty great that the University of Iowa scheduled a game here Friday with two former Maroons and state champions. Pretty unique event, so.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
You have your tickets already?
I do, yeah, tickets.
Ms. Casper?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Mr. Schmidt?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Kudos to the arena for arranging the game you're referring.
Yes, if Dave was here, he'd be very thankful that.
Yeah, Dave and
that-
Scott,
That
both of
you
them.
mentioned it.
Yeah,
I
they're
have two small things that I forgot to mention. I wanted to let you know that Chris Parr and I and Mr. Vitas are actively engaging in conversations about the early child care and education in the Quad Cities. We're, along with the connections we made at the Hunt Institute that I went to downstate. Chris Parr is now on a statewide committee that's looking at a particular funding model. And so those are some really good conversations. There's also a connection to United Way as part of that, because that's been one of their pillars that they are trying to uphold or develop. So I just wanted you to know the work done on the childcare that was done in 2022 continues, because we still need people to be in the workforce and meet the needs of our companies in the area. So there'll be more to come on that. And there was one other thing, and now I can't remember. So, any other staff with updates and miscellaneous? No? Okay. Any public comment? Seeing none, we have executive session, I believe.
Your Honor, I make a motion that the council convene an executive session for the purpose of discussion of property acquisition -5 ILCS 120/2C5.
Is there a second? Second. All right, roll call, please. Oh, sorry, would you catch that? That's
No.
Timian.
Who was the second?
It was Murphy
Timian?
and Timian.
Razak?
Aye.
Timian?
Aye.
Finch? Aye. McNeil?
Aye.
Castro? Schmidt?
Aye.
Murphy?
Aye.
Macias?
Aye.